Okay, conspiracy theories will never be able to be proved, okay? I can never prove shit like Pfizer and China teamed up to make cocoa so that they could sell vaccines and Zoom services, okay? Or that the CIA gave plans to Osama for 9/11 to happen so the CIA could spy on you more with the Patriot Act. I cannot prove this. It's impossible to prove, and I'm going to say it right now. But I can highlight some facts that make everything seem a little bit weird. So let's get into that. Coercion is very difficult to prove, and to this day, people still believe Andrew Tate did nothing wrong. I'm not saying we should base a legal system on links and coincidences, but we need to start asking questions and be more skeptical. Coercion is very powerful because technically it is not force. It is not a problem. But it is force, and it can make people do things. And we need to stop having faith in mega corporations and tyrannical regimes whose objectives are, at the end of the day, profit and control, not fucking altruism or like solving diseases or whatever the fuck. Now, okay, let's look at the example I gave earlier, 9/11. US intelligence agencies not only worked with the terrorists in the past, but they also knew something was going to happen. Maybe not 9/11 specifically, like the location and the timing, but they already had a big lead. And if they investigated further, they could have uncovered more details and potentially stopped or reduced the casualties of the attack. This is a fact, okay? And at the same time, people in the US, or the citizens of the US, they were resisting the Patriot Act, which gave so much power to the government to do things like arrest and detain without trial, spy on people without warrants. Okay, basically it violated privacy and protections of the citizens against government outreach. The Patriot Act is a literal violation of patriotism, if you technically think about it. Nobody wanted this bill passed. No one wanted the Patriot Act passed. But after 9/11 happened, the Patriot Act was passed without resistance. Everybody was scared and they let it go, right? It's almost like the agencies wanted to spy on people more. They let the attack happen so people would be scared and coerced into letting the bill pass so that the US could be put on a path to an Orwellian dystopia where everybody is surveilled. And that has only gotten worse up to 2024. Obama signed to renew the Patriot Act. This man does not give a single shit about your freedom. And Trump, he did not get rid of it. No one even talks about this anymore. Not the Republicans, not the Democrats. No mainstream media talks about this. Edward Snowden I think people literally forgot he existed. Now again, I cannot prove the CIA wanted, quote unquote, this to happen. But here are two facts. They knew something was going to happen, and they had something to gain if it did happen. And again, I'm not accusing the CIA. I love you, CIA. Please keep drugs, accept alcohol off our streets. Please spy on citizens and make sure they don't think anything negative, positivity, my N-words. But after instances like this, we need to become more skeptical of their intentions. Do they really want to protect us? Is that really true? The CIA, FBI, NSA, or any three-letter agencies, PAP, are not gods. These organizations are run by people. And after instances like this, the sheer fucking coincidence of the Patriot Act lining up with the attack, it was passed 1 month, I think, 1 month after 9/11, right? I am done trusting these fuckers, right? If you have faith in any state, any governmental institution, any corporation, or in fact, any gigantic organization, just think again. A high level of skepticism should exist towards them. That's all I'm asking for. Now let's look at another very funny example. COVID. Originally called the Chinese flu, but we have to call it COVID now, right? Name 2 Chinese companies that you did not know about before COVID became a global sensation. ByteDance is TikTok. I know TikTok's not a company, but ByteDance and Zoom. Out of all the video call services, even well-established monopolies like Google, Facebook, or whatever, these 2 companies out of nowhere hijacked the whole scene. Zoom is used in universities to this day. It is also used in the US, it is used in Europe, and the word Zoom, the name of the company, has literally become a verb. People literally use it as a colloquial verb. Think about that. And at just 1 year after COVID became a problem, the vaccine was approved, and to a degree, even forced onto people. Now again, I do believe the vaccine and stuff is I'm not trying to make it a vaccine debate, but at the same time, we all know how forced it was. Okay? There you go. And again, like I said, Even if you're a person who just has a little bit of skepticism, nope, you're gonna have to get it, or else you'll literally be prohibited from taking part in society, right? Malaria vaccine took 30 years to develop. Now, I know diseases are different in shit, but 1 to 30, come on, man. And just think about it. Pfizer had a product, protected by intellectual property, of course. Oh, fuck the third world. And everybody was forced to take that product. Big Pharma and 2 Chinese companies made a fucking fortune out of this crisis. And that is a fact. The virus also originated in China. That's another fact. And it's called COVID. The Spanish flu is still called the Spanish flu. Nobody cries about how that's racist. But the Chinese virus, that is racist. That's really weird, man. I don't understand. And on another weird point, I'm going to show you a picture. Very interesting picture. Look at this picture. American Heart Association and the American Diabetes Organization both promote a high carbohydrate diet. Coca-Cola also funds scientists that shift blame away from bad diets and towards the lack of physical activity. And it just so happens that Coca-Cola sells an extremely sugary, unhealthy product. Look at the picture. The 2 biggest diet authorities in the US are funded by, well, and again, this picture basically splits companies into what they do. I mean, you guys probably know this. The picture is very self-explanatory, and you guys probably know every company on this list as well. We worship companies today. They are literally more significant than gods. Zeus became fucking Pfizer, or I guess Tesla would be more fitting, but you get the point. And the curly bracket shows which companies fund which organization. And you see this whole notion that pharmaceutical companies are saints that saved us. It is not really true. Why research the cause of a disease when you can create an environment for it to thrive, high carb diet, and then pay lobbyists to increase patent powers, make a monopoly, and sell the quote unquote cure, or I should say the product. And then they have the audacity to tell us that extensive intellectual property rights is the reason America innovates. Yes, they innovate. They innovate more ways to increase their profits. They innovate better propaganda methods, okay? And the profits from intellectual property aren't used for innovation. They're used for propaganda, okay? Like, come on. And again, this is not an anti-science video. In fact, many people who highlight and debunk this high-carb narrative are in fact scientists and practicing doctors. Just look at this channel called Low Carb Down and Under. Every single person giving a lecture here is a practicing doctor, and many scientific studies are cited. You see, corporations are smart. They just fund science that says their medicine works. So you're going to see more science, which is technically true. Insulin will lower blood sugar, but they cover up the bigger picture. It's kind of like lying by omission, if you think about it. And again, I'm not saying anything in this video because I don't have evidence to prove shit.
Evidence.
No evidence, okay? I will admit it right now, and I admitted it at the start of the video as well. But evidence like this towards a person would be enough to make them a suspect in a murder case. Just think about it. Motive, ability, links to the scene, okay? And corporations really have more rights and protections than people. That's what this fact shows. I'll give you an example. If a rich step-parent is mysteriously found dead just before he was about to meet his lawyer to edit his will, and the 22-year-old son just inherits a large amount of money to use for a company he had been planning for a very long time. There are past records of the son and the stepdad speaking about the company several times and how it would not work. The stepfather also disapproves of the son's girlfriend, who he ended up marrying after he got the inheritance. You see, in a scenario like this, foul play is assumed from the start, and you bet your ass that there are going to be detectives on this shit, okay? And an almost everlasting skepticism will be levied against the 22-year-old son, even if he was innocent. When similar analogous circumstances happen with the CIA, NSA, Pfizer, Zoom, ByteDance, or whatever, all of us think, no way! Those profit-seeking entities would never do anything that hurts people for their own personal gain.
Okay. We would never. Come on.
Why? Similar level of evidence presented, but vastly different standards applied. It is like night and day. And people who do question these institutions are called tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theorists. Again, this is not a video to promote conspiracy theories. This is a video to simply be skeptical and to some degree respectful. People have concerns for a reason, and we should stop mocking the fuck out of them all the time. Like in Singapore when COVID happened, like holy shit, the amount of people that were mocking people who were skeptical of the vaccine here was just insane. Like people here really hate the notion of like thinking critically or questioning things. Like it is almost like, damn, But you get the point. Wake the fuck up, people. Thank you for watching.